Hello everybody and welcome to the East Shore Wiffle Ball League. The matchup that you're about to see is between the Agents and the Freedom. Before we begin, let's take a look at their rosters. For the Agents, we have Captain Derek Winston, Joe Bass, Joe Walters, and Brian Stevens. For the Freedom, we have Captain Hunter Crawford, Jarrett Shuey, Tony Dumez, Trevor Hoke, Ron Hoffman, and Alex Polino. Now, let's get right on into the action. All right, on the mound here in game number 1 is Hunter Crawford as he faces off against Derek Winston. Derek hits a ground ball back to Hunter. Hunter throws it to first, but it's not in time as Derek's going to be safe at first base as Joe Bass comes to the plate. And the pitch is an Ephus pitch, but Joe's going to drive it to left center field, and that ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Joe Bass as he puts the Agents out on top, 2-0. Now, Brian Stevens up to the plate as he swings and misses for the first out of the inning. Now, Derek Winston back up to the plate as he swings and misses. Back-to-back strikeouts here for the second out of the inning. Now, Joe Bass from the left side as he watches strike 3 for the third out of the top of the first. As now we're going to be heading into the bottom of the first. The Agents on top, 2-0. On the mound for the Agents is Derek Winston as Jarrett Shuey's going to have a leadoff home run here to get the Freedom on the board as now the score is 2-1. Able to chip away at that lead as Shuey rounds the bases, hair flying through the wind. And now Hunter Crawford coming to the plate. Hunter Crawford, high drive, left center field, that ball's gone! Back-to-back home runs for the Freedom as they're able to tie this thing up at 2 apiece with Tony Dumez coming to the plate. And Tony's going to watch ball 4 as now the Freedom have a man on first. Ron Hoffman up to the plate, and he swings and misses for the first out of the inning. Nice pitch by Derek as Jarrett Shuey coming to the plate now. And he hits a ground ball right side. Joe Bass going to grab it. He's going to throw it right at Tony Dumez for the second out of the inning as they get the fielder's choice. Now, Hunter Crawford up to the plate. Watching ball 4 as now we have a man on first and second. Tony Dumez up to the plate as he watches ball 4, and now the bases are going to be loaded. Ron Hoffman up to the plate as he drives it left field off the fence. Jarrett Shuey's going to score. Hunter rounding third on his way home, and he's going to score as 2 runs score there as now the score is 2-4. Jarrett Shuey up to the plate, ground ball back to Derek. Derek's just going to take himself at first for the third out of the inning. Now we're going to be heading into the top of the second with the Freedom able to score 4 runs there in the bottom of the first now to make the score 4-2. Hunter Crawford back on the mound as Brian Stevens up to the plate, and he hits a ground ball up the middle, and Hunter threw a pitch that caused him to throw off balance to the side, and Brian's going to take advantage of that with a single up the middle. Now, Derek Winston up to the plate as he hits ground ball back to Crawford. Crawford not going to have a play as now we're going to have a man on first and second. Back-to-back hits for the Agents. Now, Joe Bass up to the plate as he hits ground ball up the middle, and that's going to get through, and Brian's going to stay at third to keep the bases loaded as now Brian Stevens coming to the plate. Brian, line drive, left side, and they're just going to tag third, but a run is going to score as now the score is 3-4. With the man now on first and second. Derek Winston up to the plate as he hits ground ball left side, and they're not going to have a play as Joe Bass is going to go home run Hoffman with an awesome throw. Joe Bass trying to get a run there, but Ron Hoffman absolutely sniping Joe Bass for the second out. Now Joe Bass up to the plate, and he swings and misses for the third out of the inning. In that inning, a very clutch play by Ron as he was able to peg out Joe and prevent them from tying the ball game up as we're going to be heading into the bottom of the second with a 3-4 score. And now Hunter Crawford up to the plate, going to pop it up to the pitcher Derek, and he's going to catch that in foul territory for the first out of the inning. Now Tony Dumez up to the plate as he drives it right field. That ball is caught by Joe at the warning track for the second out of the inning with Ron Hoffman coming to the plate. And Ron, ground ball up the middle. Derek's going to grab it, and he's going to leg it out to beat Ron the first base as he's just going to take it himself. As now we're going to be heading into the top of the third. The Agents need 1 run to tie and 2 to take the lead. Let's see if they can do it. As Brian Stevens now coming to the plate, and he's going to swing and tip it into the zone for the first out of the inning. Now, Derek Winston up to the plate as he hits ground ball left side. Tony Dumez not able to hang on to it, and he doesn't have a play as Derek's going to be safe at first. Now, Joe Bass coming to the plate from the left side as he's got to swing and miss for the second out of the inning. Now, Brian Stevens up to the plate as he swings and misses for the final out of game number 1, as the Freedom are going to win game 1 by a score of 3-4, as they were able to stop the Agents from scoring there in the 3rd inning to tie it up. As now we're going to be heading into game number 2 with Ron Hoffman on the mound here for the Freedom as he faces off against Derek Winston. As he's going to walk him here for a lead-off walk, as now we're going to have a man on first. Joe Bass now up to the plate as he hits a ball to the right side. Jared Shuey's going to grab it. He's going to go and throw it at Joe, but not in time. But the ball's just laying there, so Derek's going to go to Hoy the third, and so Joe's going to go the second. And Derek stays at third, so we're going to have a man on second and third there with Brian Stevens up to the plate. Now Brian, ground ball back to Ron. Ron just going to tag Brian for the first out of the inning, and he's going to hold the runners, so we still have a man on second and third. Derek Winston up to the plate, high drive, left field, that ball's gone! A 3-run home run for Derek Winston, as he's able to put the Agents on the board, as now the score is 3-0. Nice shot by Derek. As now Joe Bass coming to the plate, as he swings and misses for the second out of the inning. Now Brian Stevens up to the plate as he hits ground ball left side. Hunter Crawford going to grab it, throws it to first. Not in time. Nice slide by Brian. Very good form sliding in the first base. And he's going to be safe. Now, Derek Winston up to the plate with a man on first and 2 outs. He's going to drive it left field. That ball's gone. A 2-run home run for Derek Winston, as that's going to make that 5-run inning mercy rule apply, and we're going to be heading into the bottom of the first with the Agents on top, 5-0. Let's see if the Freedom can chip away at their lead. Now, Jared Shuey leading it off here. Joe Bass on the mound for the Agents, as he's going to give up a leadoff walk here to Shuey. Now, Hunter Crawford up to the plate as he hits a ground ball left side. Derek Winston going to grab it, throws it to second, but it's not in time as Shuey's sliding in the second. So now we have a man on first and second. Tony Dumez now up to the plate as he hits ground ball to Derek. Derek not going to have a play, as now the bases are going to be loaded with Ron Hoffman coming to the plate. Ron watching strike 3 for the first out of the inning. Bases are still loaded here with Jarrett Shuey up to the plate, and he's going to watch ball 4 on a pitch way outside, and that's going to walk home a run, as now the score is 5-1 with Hunter Crawford coming to the plate. And the pitch, Crawford, ground ball left side, Derek throwing at Ron, but he's going to miss him, and a run is going to score, but the bases will stay loaded, as now the score is 5-2. Tony Dumez up to the plate as he watches ball 4 as it hits him there, as that's going to walk home another run, as now the score is 5-3. Ron Hoffman now up to the plate as he hits ground ball up the middle. Joe Bass fumbling it. He's going to throw it home, and it beats Shuey at home for the second out of the inning. Now, Jared Shuey up to the plate. Bases still loaded here as he pops it up to center field, and Derek Winston gonna call off Brian there to catch it for the third out of the inning, as now we're gonna be heading into the top of the second. The Agents still in the lead here by a score of 5-3. Let's see if they can add some insurance with Ron Hoffman back on the mound. Joe Bass swing and missing for the first out of the inning. Now Brian Stevens up to the plate as he watches ball 4, and we're going to have a man on first base. Now Derek Winston up to the plate as he hits ground ball, and Tony Dumez is going to throw it out into the outfield. Brian's going to round second on his way to third, and now we're going to have a man on second and third from that thrown away ball, as now Joe Bass coming to the plate. And Joe's going to watch ball 4, and now the bases are going to be loaded with Brian Stevens coming to the plate. Brian Stevens now, ground ball, back to the pitcher. Ron throwing it home, and they're going to say he's safe at home, as now the score is 6-3 with the bases still loaded here. Now Derek Winston up to the plate as he drives it left field. That ball's gone. A grand slam for Derek Winston, and the 5-run inning mercy rule is going to apply, as now we're going to be heading into the bottom of the second with the Agents with a sizable lead here of a score of 10-3. As now the Freedom look to chip away at it, as Hunter Crawford leading it off is going to watch ball 4 getting hit in the back, as he's going to go down the first base with Tony Dumez now up to the plate. And Tony popping up, left side, Brian Stevens under it, and he drops it! As now we're going to have a man on first and second from that error, with Ron Hoffman coming to the plate. Now, Ron Hoffman pops it up, left side, Derek Winston under it, and he's going to catch it for the first out of the inning. Now we have Jarrett Shuey up to the plate here, as he watches ball 4, and the bases are now loaded with Hunter Crawford coming to the plate. And the pitch is ball 4, as that's going to walk home a run, as now the score is 10-4 with Tony Dumez up to the plate. And he hits a ground ball right side. He's going to try and leg that one out, and Derek throws it away, as 1 run's going to score, 2 runs are going to score, and now we have a man on second and third with the score now 10-6. As the Freedom are trying to make a comeback here with Ron Hoffman up to the plate. And Ron hits it left field. Derek robbing that ball, but Hunter's going to tag up and be safe at home, as now the score is 10-7, as Derek made a great catch there to stop a home run from happening. And now Jarrett Shuey up to the plate, pops it up left side, Brian Stevens under it, and he drops it! And Tony Dumez is going to run home, and he's going to be safe at home, as that is going to now be the 5-run inning mercy rule, as now we're going to be heading into the top of the third with the Agents on top here 10-8, as they're going to look to add and make that lead a little bit bigger here with Joe Bass leading it off. Now Joe Bass watching strike 3 for the first out of the inning. Now Brian Stevens up to the plate as he tips it into the zone for strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts. Now, Derek Winston up to the plate. Ground ball, left side, Hunter Crawford. Not going to have a play, as now we're going to have a man on first with 2 outs. Joe Bass now up to the plate. Swing and missing for the third out of the inning. Now we're going to be heading in the bottom of the third. The Freedom need 2 to tie and 3 to walk it off. So let's see if they can do it, with Joe Bass coming back out on the mound, seeing if he can close this thing out and secure the win. As now leading it off here is Hunter Crawford, and he's going to swing and miss for the first out of the inning. And now Tony Dumez up to the plate, watches ball 4, and we have a man on first. Now Ron Hoffman up to the plate as he watches ball 4, back-to-back walks, as we have a man on first and second now. Jarrett Shuey up to the plate as he pops it up left side, Brian Stevens catching it for the second out of the inning. Now Hunter Crawford up to the plate as he hits a ground ball left side. It made a crazy hop. Derek throws it right under Tony, as now the bases are going to be loaded, as they couldn't get an out there. Now Tony Dumez up to the plate as he pops it up, and Joe Bass just misses it, but he does touch it in foul territory, so that's just going to be a foul ball. Good attempt. Now the next pitch is a ball, so now that's going to walk home another run, as now the score is 10-9. Ron Hoffman up to the plate and bats ball 4. The ball game is tied up at 10 apiece now. And now it comes down to Jarrett Shuey with an opportunity to end this one. And the pitch from Joe. And strike 3! And that is the end of the bottom of the third inning. And actually, you can see, we thought the score was 9-10. So we miscalculated the runs. So this game's actually going to end in a tie. I know, it's very anticlimactic. Because we didn't catch it while we were playing, that's the end of game number 2. It ends in a tie, as now we're going to be heading into game number 3 with Tony Dumez on the mound facing off against Derek Winston, as Derek's going to line it. Hunter Crawford tips off his hand, but he's going to drop it, as Derek's going to be safe at first. Now we have Brian Stevens up to the plate. Brian swinging and missing for the first out of the inning. Now we have Joe Bass up to the plate. Joe Bass swinging and missing for the second out of the inning. Now Derek Winston up to the plate As he pops it up left side, Hunter Crawford tracking it, gets it for the third out of the inning. As now we're going to be heading in the bottom of the first as Tony Dumas able to hold the Agents back and kept them scoreless there in that half of the inning. Now, Jared Shuey up to the plate as he's going to hit a ground ball to the right side, and he's going to be safe at first. Let's take an instant replay look at that one because that was a pretty close play. As we can see, Jared Shuey sliding into first base right here, and it looks like his foot might have been there right as it was making contact, so they're going to call him safe at first. Now, Hunter Crawford up to the plate as he's going to pop it up left side. Derek Winston tracking it, and he's going to catch it for the first out of the inning. Now, Tony Dumas up to the plate as he's going to hit a ground ball right side. Derek Winston's going to grab it. He's going to try and get Tony, and he does beat him by half a step for the second out of the inning. Now, Ron Hoffman up to the plate as he's going to pop it up left side, and Derek Winston going to track it down for the third out of the inning, as we're going to have a scoreless first inning as neither the Agents or the Freedom were able to score here, as now we're going to be heading into the top of the second with the Agents trying to get on the board. Now, Brian Stevens leading it off. He's got a swing and miss for the first out of the inning. Now, Joe Bass up to the plate as he's going to watch strike three for the second out of the inning. Now, Derek Winston up to the plate as he's going to pop it up center field. Jared Shuey under it, and that's going to be another scoreless inning here, as now we're going to be heading into the bottom of the second. The Freedom now looking to get on the board, as Jared Shuey's going to lead this thing off. And the pitch to Shuey. High drive, right center field. That ball's gone. As Shuey able to break this scoreless tie with a solo home run there to put the Freedom on the board. Now the score is 1-0. And now Hunter Crawford up to the plate as he drives it left center field. That ball's gone. Back-to-back home runs here for the Freedom, as now the score is 2-0. And Tony Dumas now coming to the plate as he drives it right field. That ball's gone. Back-to-back home runs here for the Freedom, as now the score is 3-0. And they're going to call in Derek Winston, the relief, as Ron Hoffman, high drive, left center field. Is that going to get out? It does! Back-to-back home runs for the Freedom. And that has to be history. Wow, what an amazing feat. As now Jared Shuey's going to come to the plate, ground ball right side, and he's going to go ahead and leg that thing out, as he is going to break the home run streak there. But now he's going to be safe at first. Hunter Crawford up to the plate. High drive, left center field. That ball's gone. A 2-run home run for Hunter Crawford, as the 5-run inning mercy rule is going to apply here. And we're going to be heading into the top of the third with the Freedom having a 6-0 lead, as now the Agents need 6 to tie and 7 to take the lead. And leading it off here for the Agents is Brian Stevens, as he hits a ground ball back to Tony. Tony, it gets through Tony, and Crawford not able to handle it either, as Brian's going to be safe at first. Now Joe Bass coming to the plate as he swings and misses for the first out of the inning. Now Derek Winston up to the plate as he hits it left side, and Hunter Crawford's going to grab it. He's going to try and track down Brian, but Brian's going to stay at first, as now there are 2 outs here. The Freedom just need 1 more to win it. Now Brian Stevens up to the plate as he hits ground ball back to Tony. Tony not going to have a play, as we're going to have a man on first and second now. Joe Bass now up to the plate as he watches ball 4, and now the bases are going to be loaded here with Derek Winston coming to the plate. Now Derek, ground ball left side, and Hunter Crawford's going to grab it. Joe's going to overrun third, and that's going to be the third and final out. Joe even saying timeout there for a second. He said he wasn't sliding in the third, so he overran it, and then Hunter just tagged him for the third out of the inning. But a run will score, so the final score here is going to be 6-1. The Freedom are going to win 2 games, and they're going to tie another game. So that is the end of today's action. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you around next time.